Once upon a time in the magical land of England, and America, and pretty much everywhere else, most scientists thought that the atom was the smallest piece of matter that could possibly exist. It wasn't until 1897 that someone found out it wasn't. J.J. Thomson was an English physicist that found this out. He discovered that electricity through a gas caused it to give off particles smaller than atoms. These particles were also negatively charged, whereas atoms had zero electric charge. He decided to name them corpuscles. Later, someone called them electrons because who wants to call something sciencey corpuscles? Thanks to logic, he reasoned that they came from inside the atom. But what would he call this new discovery, and what kind of model would he use? Well, he named his model the plum pudding model, after the snack plum pudding. But wait, in 1911, a scientist named Ernest Rutherford proved the plum pudding model wrong and discovered the proton. He suggested that there was a concentrated positive core and that the hydrogen nucleus was an elementary particle because it had only one proton. He named it the proton, meaning first. Now, Rutherford and some of his fellow colleagues discovered this by doing a simple experiment. To do it, he fired a beam of alpha particles at ridiculously thin gold foil. He had expected most of the particles to pass right through and for some to be deflected slightly as they passed through the plum pudding of the atom because of electric field. That happened, but something else surprising did too. Although most of the particles passed through, some of them experienced extreme deflection, up to 150 degrees. This would have been impossible according to the plum pudding model. Rutherford noted that this was only possible if there was a strong electrostatic force concentrated in a dense core. Rutherford then concluded that there would be a dense, positively charged core surrounded by a cloud of electrons because although a few were deflected, most passed through, telling him that there was lots of empty space. However, there was a slight problem with his theory. Protons only accounted for half of the atom's mass. Since all the protons were in the nucleus and the nucleus accounts for 99% of the atom's mass, there was a pretty major flaw. Well, that problem was solved by James Chadwick in 1932. His experiments revealed that there was another particle in the nucleus with almost the same mass as a proton and no electric charge. He called it a neutron. It's amazing how much scientists can learn about an atom in such a short amount of time. I mean, in 35 years they discovered the fundamental particles that make up an atom without fancy technology and without actually seeing the atom. They did it all with a simple experiment and logic.